There's a fire happening at LSU, and Brian Kelly is the only one who can put out the flames. The hot seat is scorching for him right now. LSU paid him to leave South Bend, and he's been yet to deliver upon the high expectations that he had when he first took this job. And remember, his reasoning for leaving Notre Dame to join LSU is that he didn't have what was needed for him to win a national championship. Well, we just saw Notre Dame make it to the national title game, beat Georgia, beat Penn State, win big games that Brian Kelly didn't really win that often during his time as the head coach of the Fighting Irish. And then you enter your fourth season at LSU, and you've kind of made the same excuses here that you made at your previous stop. And with everything that LSU has going into this season, the money they've invested, with the portal additions, what they have returning at quarterback and defense, Brian Kelly is either playoffs or get the hell out. Will Brian Kelly be able to save his job this year? I believe so. From a talent standpoint, this is the best team that LSU has had since 2019. You got Garrett Nussmeier back at quarterback, who is set up to produce video game numbers. He's throwing to the best receiving core in college football, Aaron Anderson. You get Barion Brown, Nick Anderson out of the transfer portal. You got this 6'7" monster and Tre'Dez Green. You also have running back Caden Durham, who should become one of the more premier backs in this conference with how well he played in his true freshman campaign. He was averaging 5.4 yards per carry behind an inconsistent offensive line. And LSU also loaded up in the portal on defense. You bring in edge rushers, Patrick Payton, Jack Pyburn. You also got a really good cornerback from Virginia Tech, Mansoor Delane. And you also bring a good amount of talent back on defense as well. Linebacker Weeks is coming off a breakout campaign. You get a healthy Harold Perkins back, and you got a lot of depth and talent on your defensive line. Brian Kelly, despite being considered to be the most overrated head coach in this sport, I've been part of that discussion. I've been heavily critical of him. Based off his track record, he has shown the ability, when he does get a team that has the talent of this magnitude, like what he has this year at LSU, he's been able to deliver huge results. And the ceiling for LSU this year is 11-1, winning the SEC championship and getting a sure spot into the CFP. But the floor for LSU is 9-3. And you may think 9-3 gets Brian Kelly fired, but the committee is looking for a reason to put in a 3-loss SEC team. They damn near would have done it last year if Alabama never lost to Oklahoma or if Ole Miss never lost to Florida. This season, expect for LSU to finally clinch a playoff berth under Brian Kelly. Yes, he has underachieved in the past. He's had a Heisman-winning quarterback, numerous first-round picks. He's been unable to get it done, but this is one of the most stacked rosters in all of college football this year. LSU definitely had to invest somewhere between $30-40 million into this year's team. Now, what are the reasons for why we could see Brian Kelly get fired this year? What has to go wrong for LSU for that to happen? Because as easy as it is to say, oh yeah, if he doesn't make it, he's definitely going to get fired. You know, he has the fourth highest buyout in college football. Don't know if LSU wants to pay that amount of money on top of what it's going to cost to get a new coaching staff in here. But if they were to pull the trigger on Brian Kelly, the offensive line will have to take a step back from the level that they played at these last couple of years. They replaced 4 starters on that unit. They have to part it for the NFL. Let's say the pass protection gets worse. The run blocking still continues to struggle. Garrett Nussmeier continues to implode in the second half of games and cost LSU several close games. And Brian Kelly would also have to whiff on several of his portal additions from this offseason. And we're going to find out really early this year what's going to happen with Brian Kelly's future in Baton Rouge, because they have a brutal schedule to start this season. You play Clemson week 1 on the road in Death Valley. Then you have Florida. You got to go back on the road to play Ole Miss. Then you got South Carolina at home. So by the time we get to late September, Brian Kelly's fate with LSU football is already going to be all but decided. They're either going to rise to the occasion, because you know what they say, pressure either bursts pipes or makes diamonds. And I believe that Brian Kelly is going to be able to weather the storm, finally be able to live up to the high expectations, and get LSU into the CFP for the first time during his tenure here as the head coach. I'm not an LSU fan. I'm not high on Brian Kelly at all. I've been one of the loudest critics of Brian Kelly. I've been warning everybody about this fraud for the past 2 seasons. But I do give credit where it's due. And based off his track record and his resume, when he has had teams that have had this amount of talent, he's been able to deliver. He's led Notre Dame to the CFP several times. He led them to a national title game. So I'm willing to give him the benefit of a doubt that for at least this season, he can finally put it all together and save his job for at least one more year.